Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Wrestling Tacos Wrestler of the Week. I'm Annie, this is Franco, and we have the gutter snake, Izzy James, with us today. Woo! Yay.
What's up, Wrestling Tacos? I actually had fish tacos for lunch. I need some more tacos, though. Never enough.
Never have enough tacos.
Never enough. It's always a thing. You always have to have a taco with you.
Tacos or nachos?
Ooh, yeah.
Or burritos. I like burritos.
Ooh, let's just get a set out and just knock them all out in one.
The first thing we start off with is icebreaker questions. It's like simple questions, just get to know you more. The last question is usually the most important one. I want to say you're from Dallas, correct?
Born and raised.
Okay, cool. Because I know you're announced from the gutters of New York, but I was like, I think he's from Dallas.
Change that up a little bit, but we'll talk about that.
Ooh.
All right, cool. So yeah, we'll start with icebreaker questions.
So what's your favorite band?
My favorite band, I actually have categories for my favorite bands. My favorite band of all time is Kiss, because it was the first band I ever saw live. I was 7 years old. We went to, my mom and my dad drove us all the way from Dallas to San Antonio to see Kiss. It was 1996. It was their reunion tour, so it was the original four members for the first time in like a long time. And I remember we got to the venue. We were up in like the 300 or 400 section, and the light wouldn't turn off in our section. And there was like a big section of us, and it just wouldn't turn off. And so the staff came over, and they actually told us that they were giving us complimentary seats down on the floor. So I went from sitting in the big, nosebleeds in my first concert to right by the sound booth for Kiss. And that's my favorite band of all time. But if I was to have to go, like, favorite band, like, that embodied my youth, my teenage angst, my punk and my goth and everything between was Under Oath. When I was younger, I was a Christian kid, and I was, raised in a Christian household. I'm not that anymore. I'm a little bit different viewpoint now, but Under Oath was just, their music always spoke to me.
I actually got to see them back in 2019. I think it was 2019 when we went for Dance Gavin Dance. They were the headlining band.
I don't remember.
I think it was 2018, 2019. They were in Austin. He had took me for our honeymoon. It was 2018 because we went to, yes, and I was excited because I love Dance Gavin Dance. That was a band that I grew up with in high school, but I love Under Oath. I worked for a shoe company here locally, and that's all they would play. Sometimes it would be on.
Nice.
And I was like, well, I guess if I'm going to have to listen to it, I have to listen to it now. But, you want to ask yours?
I never listened to those bands. I'm not a big on like those type of bands. But the weirdest thing you collect?
Weirdest thing I collect? I used to collect Ultimate Warrior action figures. I actually have a good collection of them. I haven't really collected anything recently, but I'm trying to think. I feel like there's something. There's something else, but definitely the Ultimate Warrior action figures. I think I want to branch out to like collecting just different action figures of like my favorites, and so I want to get a collection of John Cena's. That's one of my favorites. Somebody can punch me, I don't care, but I love John Cena.
I used to hate John Cena when I was younger because younger how I was, but now that I got older and like he's kind of semi-retired, I'm like, oh, I miss this guy so much.
Right. That's kind of how I was like towards the latter part of his career, like in the late 20-teens, like when he was working with AJ Styles, like the time from like Punk and beyond for Cena. I really enjoy that time.
Yeah, his time with AJ Styles was freaking amazing. We saw
it was great.
In San Antonio when
the Rumble.
Our daughter was the one cheering for our oldest daughter was the one cheering for John Cena. We're both cheering for AJ Styles. And when he won the match, she turned to us and she's like, "Ha! I told you." He was
nice.
oh, great! I was like,
very cool.
We're there for his
16th world title. Well, we're actually going into the next question, which was your favorite wrestler growing up, which you already kind of told us it's John Cena, but do you have anybody else?
John Cena was not really like my favorite growing up. My favorite growing up, I would say, it would have to be Shawn Michaels. That was just he was and still is the best in-ring performer of all time. I mean, Ric Flair's on that list as well, but for me, Shawn Michaels was that guy. That was my era guy.
You're really gonna hate me when I say I've never liked Shawn Michaels.
You're a rare person because normally the first person that people talk about is Shawn Michaels. If you grew up in the '90s, you're a Shawn Michaels kid, or like you like Triple H. It's one or the other.
And like Shawn Michaels is a good wrestler, a great wrestler, but like I don't know. When I was younger, I just didn't catch on to him, I guess.
Who was yours?
My favorite wrestler when I was a kid was always The Rock. Favorite of all
The
time.
Rock. Okay, yeah. I mean, he's good on the stick, so he draws you in. He pulls you in for that TV show.
Yeah. Since it's about to be Valentine's Day in about another few weeks, what's your ideal Valentine's date?
My ideal Valentine's date. Not gonna lie, the wife and I are very big homebodies. We tend to stay in a lot. So for us, we would be fine sitting inside watching a movie, something we've watched before or not, and just having wine and a good meal. Or I like going to the beach. I like going and sitting on the river and doing stuff like that. So I think it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be a really fun idea to go down and, like, if we don't have like a river like we do, like you guys have in like San Antonio or something, but if we were to go like the river walk, that'd be really great to go down the river walk, have a great meal, have wine, champagne, chocolates afterwards, and then back to the hotel room.
We're actually in Corpus. We wish we were in San Antonio.
I know.
Oh well, there's a beach there at least.
Yeah, we got a beach. It's not as
there you go.
Green, but
it's green, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's green. Yeah, just beware this. Just it's like in Galveston. Just beware the smell.
Yeah, that's what it is. Favorite quote you live by?
Favorite quote I live by. Stone Cold. Don't trust anybody.
Love it.
The last two questions will be food related. You like donuts?
Love donuts. I actually almost went and got donuts today, but I'm trying to make sure that I look good because I got Kevin Blackwood on Friday at Loco Wrestling, and that man's in shape. So I need to make sure that this belly's not full of tacos.
What's your favorite type of donut?
I like the chocolate eclairs. Chocolate eclairs are great. That might be my favorite. But a good regular glazed donut is so good.
Eclairs are Long Johns. So there's 3 different names for them. We've noticed this. Eclairs.
There's the long one.
Yeah, okay, that's my favorite. I never heard it by that name.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining the last time because we had Vic Endurance on, and he calls them Boston cream pies. Like they're
I think it's regional depending on where you were. Like Long John's, Boston cream. Yeah, it's different stuff. I like the ones that are coffee filled or like the coffee icing on top of them too.
Oh yes,
I need to try that one.
That one, and then they have it's a maple bar too as well.
Yes, the maple bar is great.
I remember this. All right, so this one is going to make or break the interview. It's either we're going to cut the interview today or
no.
So
no pressure.
No pressure. So you're a Texas boy. So In-N-Out or Whataburger?
You're gonna hate me. I'm not a fan of either.
Okay, that's understandable. It's okay.
However, let me back up. I will pick Whataburger over In-N-Out any day.
There we go. Good question.
And the spicy ketchup is the spicy ketchup is the seller right there.
Have you tried the new ketchup that they have now? It's
what?
Yes. So it's only a limited batch that they're doing, I think, for the month of January and February. I don't know if it's going to continue on longer, but it's a limited batch of spicy ketchup, but it's made with hot sauce instead of their traditional spicy ketchup. It's bomb. I think
like it's Tabasco sauce.
I don't know if it's Tabasco, but it just says hot sauce on it, and to me, it tastes like Louisiana hot sauce than anything. But it's good. I'm
gonna have to go. Yeah,
it's good.
Is it good? Is it good or is it like eh?
It's good to me. I like spicy ketchup, but if I had to choose, I'd probably choose that one more than spicy ketchup.
Okay. So, I'm gonna try and find this.
Local Whataburger. There you go.
We'll see if we got it.
It's funny you brought up spicy ketchup because we saw that you and Dimitri, I don't know, it's y'all's first time meeting at GCWA in November.
Yeah.
But y'all seem like grown a friendship. You sent some care package.
Yeah.
That was so adorable. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Dimitri and I, we spent like a few days together that weekend. And we had only met that first time wrestling each other, but it became a fast friendship. Like I took him to the airport, picked him up from the airport, took him to the airport. And ever since then, like that whole weekend, like I talk to that dude every day. That dude's become one of my close inner circle people.
Y'all actually wrestled in the scramble match at Loco the next night. That match.
It was so good. Oh my God.
Oh, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. It was hectic, and Juventud is amazing. I want to work with him one-on-one.
Yeah, Juventud is really good. All those guys are really good. Gino, Raxo, Juventud, you, Dimitri, there was one more. Danny Chance.
Yeah. It was a good mix of guys in that ring.
Yeah, and y'all's match on with Gulf Coast, the one-on-one, that match was really good too.
That was one of my favorites of that night. It was so good.
I think it had to be my favorite of the night. I can't remember the matches happened, but I think I want to say that one's been my favorite on No Gimmicks Needed.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the end of the icebreaker questions. This one's like a bonus question, I guess. 3 wrestlers you would say inspire your character. By character, I don't mean a gimmick. I just mean like your inner character, I guess.
3 that would inspire my in-ring character, like my in-ring mannerisms, personality.
No, your personality, not your gimmick, but your personality itself.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho is one. I want to say a little bit of William Regal. Who else? Gosh, putting me on the spot. Like 3 people. That's 2. I said Regal. I said Jericho. And I want to say a little bit of Moxley. I really enjoy Moxley's like just kind of frantic out of nowhere, kind of, you never know what the guy's gonna say or do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can actually see that a little bit because like the way you rush to the ring, I usually shoot from my seat when I take photos and stuff. So every time you come out, I hear your music. By the time I'm about to shoot, you're already halfway to the ring. But every time I don't get good pictures of you whenever you come out, but I get good ones when you're in ring because you photograph like very, very sweetly, very nice. I'm like, oh, man, this guy moves really good in the ring, and I'm like, man, if you could just slow down just a little bit.
I'll try to bring it back. I'll try to bring it back a little bit on the entrance. Funny story. I was doing New Texas Pro, or was it? I think it was Loco. It was the scramble match, and the guy that was filming it, he's used to whenever I would have Insidious with me, and she would come out through my legs, and we would pose. With Izzy, I wanted Izzy to be different than what a lot of people are doing. I wanted him to have this big fight feel. I wanted him to be more like, instead of posing, he'll pose in the ring, but he's not going to pose at the stage. He's going to go straight to the fight and get ready for the fight. Like Chris Benoit or Dean Malenko or Stone Cold Steve Austin or Moxley when it comes to that. So I come out for the entrance during the Loco show, and the guy's down low because he usually would film Insidious coming through my legs, and I just barrel over him and knock him down and continue my entrance. I didn't know he was there until afterwards, he came up to me and told me about it. And I was just like, I just thought some fan was on the ramp.
Like my bad, man.
Whoops. Well, I guess you got a good shot.
Good one. That's like extra bloopers right there. Like,
yeah. Keep it in. Keep it in.
So let's take it back a little bit. Before wrestling, you were actually in a band, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So what was life before wrestling?
So I was a very skinny kid growing up, and I was like, I played football 1 year in 7th grade, and I was never really like super athletic. I remember I broke my collarbone when I was like 17, and I was like, I was told I was going to wear a brace and it would go back to being flat, but instead of wearing it for like the last 2 weeks, my collarbone still sits like this a little bit over here. So I was like, I'll never be an athlete. I'll never really have to worry about it. But I always grew up like loving pro wrestling. It was like the first memory in my life, honestly. It was like me and my mom going to the sportatorium when I was a little kid, like 3 years old. And other than that, I was really heavily into music. I played bass in punk rock bands when I was in high school. I ended up in like 2 screamo bands that were similar to Under Oath. And then I ended up in a band called Destriers Gate, which is the one that we released an album in 2009, like right before I joined the professional wrestling like business. Actually, I was training at the time with MPX up in DFW and had my first match. And I want to say a month later, I quit the band. I was like, I'm done. I hate the drummer. The drummer hates me. This isn't fun anymore. You know, mind you, like recording an album is super cool. Like I got to go live in Tennessee with the guitar player for what is it? Demon Hunter. I got to live with him for like 2 weeks while we recorded this album. So I did that pretty much from the time I was like 14 until I was 21, 22 years old. And then as soon as I found wrestling and had my first bumps and took my first, and had my first match, that was my new love. And I was 100% going into the professional wrestling route.
Man.
You have any music out there that we might be able to listen to?
You can actually find the album that we released on YouTube. The entire album is there for free to listen to. You can buy it on iTunes, I believe. It might be on Spotify. I'm not sure. The band has since they're no longer together. But they continued on for a few years after I was out of the band, and I think they added some of that stuff. But if you go to YouTube, type in Destriers Gate, it's GAIT for Gate, and that's you go there and you type in Hung, Drawn, and Quartered. It's the full album, and it's like 11 tracks.
Shit.
You look that up. I might use that for some highlight videos later on.
You might not like it if you don't like screaming music.
To get into it, like I know old stuff is like good for wrestling highlights, so I'm trying to get into it, but I just I don't know. I can't like listen on it repeatedly.
See, whenever we drive, like when we travel a lot and I'm the one driving, I see him take out his AirPod and like start slowly putting it in. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll podcast then.
I'm usually on TikTok.
Yeah, he is usually on TikTok. And I'm like, great, okay. I don't think my music's that bad, but we're two totally like I listen to screamo and rock and like heavy metal stuff, and him, it's more of like the rap.
Emo rap
type stuff, and I'm like, well, all right, I guess great minds don't always think alike.
Hey, it's good having a real eclectic music taste, because like Insidious likes freaking Steely Dan, but then likes a little bit of Slipknot, and then likes jazz fusion. Like she's got this very weird thing. She likes it all, honestly.
Yesterday I was actually on Spotify. Looking up interviews that you've done, type in Izzy James. I stumbled across your profile, and I guess on one of the playlists that you have popped up or that you listen to, I was like, I'm going to start listening to this. I played the first song. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I think I exited out of it after that one.
I forgot that you can do that. Like, you can like go and look at my songs on Spotify and listen to my playlist. That's weird. That's kind of.
How's this? I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I see what type of music you listen to. Maybe his your theme song Zero was in there. I like that song. That song's really good.
Yeah, I love that song.
So next question: how'd you stumble into wrestling? You said you're in a band and you train with MPX. How'd that come around?
So, around the time I was like feeling down about the music industry, like we were doing our album and stuff, but I really didn't like I said, the drummer and we didn't like each other. And so there was always like, we kind of butted heads every practice. And so I used to work at this camera shop where they make these cameras where you tie them to trees and like the deers set them off for like hunters. And so you can see them at night through these infrared cameras. And I used to test those. And it was literally like sitting in front of a computer. I'd set them to run auto and I'd sit there like this until they were done. I don't know how long it took, but eventually they'd finish. And so we had the internet access on our computer, and so I went to Craigslist and I started looking up wrestling schools because I was like, I'm tired of playing the wrestling video games. Like I played them my entire life. I want to at least try. If I hate it, if I take a bump and I immediately get a headache or a migraine or it just isn't for me, I'll know, and I can at least say I tried, and I can say no, I'll move back on. I'll keep on with the music. So I searched and I almost went to Killer Tim Brooks school out in I think it's Waxahachie, somewhere out in that area. But I think I decided not to just because it was like an hour or so drive from where I lived, and so I ended up choosing to go through this Craigslist ad that MPX had put up, and it was just like, hey, we have a wrestling ring in a backyard, so on and so forth. Here's our little website, and they had a website where they had the wrestling training clips. And so I was watching it and I was just like, okay, I'll give this a shot. There was nobody with any kind of wrestling experience whatsoever. It was just, there was like one guy named Thomas Wood who was like, he had wrestled for like 2 or 3 years. And so all these other guys that just kind of wanted to be in it were now training. And the core of that group was me, Stephen Kirby, a guy named Kyle Vallo, Seth Anunnaki, and somebody else. But those last four were the like main core, me included with that. And Stephen Kirby and myself and Seth Anunnaki are like the only ones that still wrestle that were from the old core group of MPX. So I went and I answered the email. I called him, or no, he called me. Stephen Kirby called me and asked me what I wanted to do with wrestling, and I was like, I want to make a career of it. I want to be a professional wrestler. And so I went and trained, and it started, snowballing from there. So I'm a backyard kid. But then about about 7 months into that, we got a building. And then when we got a building, we were able to start running like little shitty shows. And I'm talking the worst shows you've ever seen. There's a DVD in my collection, and I only show it to people I really like. And so then Carrie and Arcane, Christopher Hayden, Frankie Fisher, Matt Palmer, and Athena or Ember Moon, they all started like noticing what we were doing, and so they started coming and training with us and actually really training us. And so I actually credit Matthew Palmer as my original like formal trainer, because he was the one who took me under his wing. I did a TNA gut check in my first year of professional wrestling. And even Jeff Jarrett was like, I don't know how you got into this. You've got like 9 months of experience, 10 months of experience. We're supposed to vet these. Like, Jerry, how did this kid get in? He was like, you got a lot of potential. Just keep going. I was the shits. I didn't even know how to do chain wrestling. And they paired me with the one only guy in the building that didn't know chain wrestling either. So after I did that and just kind of, shit the bed in front of D'Lo and Jeff Jarrett, even though they told me I did a good job, Matt Palmer took me under his wing and really showed me the ropes, really showed me how to chain wrestle, how to put matches together with proper structure, and took me on the road. And since then, it's been, 11 years going on 12 in April.
Damn. I've been hearing a lot about Matthew Palmer. We haven't seen him live yet because I think he's in the Dallas area. But I've been hearing a lot about him from like different interviews and all that. I really want to see him live. I know he's at We wanted to go see him live against Crowley back in October, but that didn't happen. So hopefully we get to see him live.
Yeah, one of them got injured. I can't remember. I know Palmer ended up tearing his shoulder in a match.
Crowley.
Yeah, I think they both got injured. I think it was Crowley got injured, then like about a month later, I want to say Palmer got injured.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, Palmer's amazing. If anybody was to ever ask me like should I book Palmer? I was like, yeah, you book him and you put him in your title match like right away because the dude's just that good. He'll have the crowd caring about him in 5 minutes.
And I go back and watch some matches. I know he was like a big part of Inspire Pro or Inspire AD, and I've been listening to their podcast a lot. And that's where I got most of my knowledge about from him.
Yeah, he was a big part of Inspire, part of ACW for a long time. MPX, PCW was where he started in Arlington, Texas, which was only run for a few years, but that's where he started.
Sweet. The pandemic happened in 2020. Nastigo had a promo battle. I want to talk about you. I can't remember if you almost won it. I want to say you're in the finals.
I was in the finals and I lost to Dill Dempsey of all people.
Oh man, that actually entertained throughout.
That was a very padded championship, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, poor.
During the pandemic, we're in Louisiana that year, and that kept us entertained. I want to say I came across you before that back in 2019. I want to say I think I followed you. You followed back. I was like, watching some of your clips and everything. I'm like, this guy's awesome. I want to see him live. And 2020, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see him live. We moved, and then the pandemic happened.
Right.
But the promo battles you did, I think I really like the one with you versus Insidious one.
Yeah, the cinematic match.
Yes.
We filmed 2 of them, and then that took all day to film, and I think I turned it in. It was like a midnight deadline, but he let me turn it in at 2 a.m.
Like, look, man, I gotta edit.
He's just like, this is just too good to not accept it.
Speaking of Sid, we know that recently y'all guys was it recently?
It was like in March.
Yeah, March. That y'all guys had a little altercation about who cleaned what in the house.
Yeah.
And we ended up with a house, what is it, a house cleaning death match or
Good housekeeping death match.
Good housekeeping death match. The question for me is, was that real cat litter or was it, candy thrown in a cat litter box?
Oh no. That was real cat litter.
Oh, man.
That was real cat litter. And when we filmed the cinematic match, we had a scene in one of them where she like stomped my head into the litter box, and I was gonna spit out the litter, and I actually got the litter in my mouth, and unfortunately, it was clumping. So like trying to spit it out. Oh, the things I do to entertain the fans. You guys have no idea.
The stuff you put me through.
I thought that was like Twix or something in the match, but
dedication. That's dedication.
Was like the cat litter fresh, or did you have it for like a day or something?
It was fresh, I believe.
Yeah, that's even worse. But honestly, that was a really, really good match and all. Both of y'all guys working together, like y'all are like so. How do you put it? Compatible. Chemistry. Yeah, the chemistry is really good in between both of you guys.
I really enjoyed working Insidious in that match. I'm always a little trepidatious to hit my wife, but when it came to do it for Showtime, we didn't hold back, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I would show that match to anybody.
Match is actually on his YouTube channel, so I'll put something up here.
Yeah, go to my YouTube channel, type in Izzy James, subscribe, smash that subscribe button.
He has a whole bunch of full matches. I think I have some of Insidious versus Vert Vixen as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk her into getting a YouTube page.
I think y'all two sharing one would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work. We can put all of our promos up there too.
Yeah. Speaking of Insidious one though, I guess we could talk about like the mask heard around the world, the mask removal.
Oof.
She took off the mask at Reality of Wrestling, and
she finally found the voice.
Yeah, she found her voice. So what's next? Now that Legion's done, what's next for Izzy James?
So what's next for me is I will be debuting in singles competition this Saturday at Reality of Wrestling Canton. I think that's like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours outside of Dallas on the east side. But I'll be doing that against Clay Roberts. That's going to be a really good match. I'm hoping the sky's the limit, but my goal is Texas Championship, TV Championship, Reality Wrestling Championship. Down the line, I want to be one of those guys that was a Grand Slam champion for Reality of Wrestling.
Damn.
And more independent stuff, because I got Loco the night before. I got Loco wrestling with Kevin Blackwood, who is just one of those internet darlings for independent wrestling right now. On top of that, I've got Vegas, I've got Washington stuff coming up. I've got I'm supposed to be doing this deal with Barbarian from WCW back in the 80s and 90s, where we go to Africa for 3 weeks to do a 3-week tour. That was supposed to actually happen like right after Christmas, but because of Omicron coming from South Africa, that had to be put on hold for a while. So other than that, school was supposed to be today, but because it's a holiday, not going to happen. So tomorrow is my first day at school at 9 a.m. and I'm looking forward to it because I have a production background with film and editing. I'm going into that. So one day when I can't wrestle, I'll be filming guys who can and hopefully giving them the tips to be better as far as like a TV wrestler and being on camera.
Wow. That's good, man. Congrats,
man.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Amazing.
One match that I was looking forward to that didn't happen was in October. And I really hope it happens.
Oh.
It was supposed to be Izzy James and Insidious one versus Alexander Crowley and Lilith.
Oh, yeah. And then he broke his collarbone.
Yes.
Yeah. He bitched out.
Crowley, you see this?
Oh, I hope he sees it and puts it on rewind. That's for motivation.
He's back in the ring, hopefully, this past Saturday.
Yeah, Hurricane Pro.
So hopefully we get that match soon. Hopefully he returns to Texas Wrestling League. Whether it's 2-on-2 or even just 1-on-1 and you and him solo, I want to see that match.
That's been building for a while too. We were supposed to do something with Fearless Pro, but Fearless Pro is kind of like I don't know. It's kind of been in limbo for the last couple of months. I have the title, but I have nowhere to defend it. So hopefully we get to do that sometime down the line and for the Fearless belt.
Yeah, that was another thing I was talking about. Is you faced Aaron Mercer in 3 stages of film match at Fearless Pro back in July, I think.
Yeah.
How was that match, man? I was there live. She wasn't. I was there, and that match was amazing live. I love Aaron Mercer, and you're the reason I went over there. I was like, I want to see Izzy James again. I want to see him again. So I went.
Man, thank you. That match was exhausting. 3 stages of hell in a barn in July in South Texas, where there's no AC. There's like a big fan maybe, and it's just it's just stuffy. And on top of that, pitch black outside. And so I feel like the match itself was great. I feel like had we done it somewhere else where there could have been a little bit more fanfare, a little bit more crowd, some actual footage to come from it, like a standard footage that you normally get, that match, other people would be talking about it. A lot more would be talking about it.
I think I recorded, I want to say the full match. I could be wrong.
You gotta look that picture back.
I put it in a little.
We gotta share it more. We gotta share it some more.
Yeah, I'll end up if I don't have it on the full match already, I'll end up going back on it, see if I have to style the footage because my computer's been fucking up on me, and if I can re-edit it, upload it, and then let everybody see because that match was really good. That was my first time. No, that wasn't my first time. That was my second time seeing Aaron Mercer live, and the dude's just amazing as well.
Aaron's one of those dudes. Like I've seen him since he really began at Hybrid, and I remember we had a death match one time, and it was like his first time ever doing a death match, and he was young in the business. He was like maybe a year in, and I set some chairs on the stage with some thumbtacks on the chairs, and I went to like act like I was gonna powerbomb him in it, and he was like, "Please don't do it! Please don't do it!" So I was like, "All right, man, I'll do that. You can put me through. I'll do it. But he's come a long way. I really enjoy his work, and traveling with him was a lot of fun from here to California.
I want to see another one-on-one match between y'all two. Hopefully somewhere with AC, because that place was really, really freaking hot.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to. We were gonna do something with New Texas that was gonna intertwine with Fearless, but then Fearless kind of just stopped happening. So,
well, we have a couple questions left. You debut. I'm gonna make you feel old right now. You debut April 3rd, 2010. So in 2 months, you're about to have 12 years in the business. How's it feel to wrestle in 2 decades?
Oh God! What did I word it? Man, I'm gonna be one of those guys that's like the only Texas wrestler to wrestle in 3 decades and win a championship in 3 decades. 1,000-day reign. No, it's I feel like right now the last from during 2020 I killed the unholy character. I decided I was going to change and become Izzy James, and really I feel like that was a rebirth of my career, and it actually lit a fire under my ass when it came to really enjoying this again, because there was a long while when I was doing the unholy character where I was just like, it felt like work, it didn't feel like it was fun anymore, and I got stuck in the role of unholy for 8 years, 9 years, and I just kind of was in that for too long. So when I changed to Izzy, not only did I feel more comfortable in the ring, did I notice that my in-ring work was getting a lot better just because of that as well. But my peers were noticing it as well. My peers were saying that they could see it. They could see that I was happier in the ring. They could see that I was enjoying what I was doing again. So while I really, cherish my journey, my past, the 7 years that I've spent working for MPX, putting on matches after match after match that that's on the MPX network. You can get that and watch those. If you want to look up Gregory James versus Matthew Palmer, there's 5 or 6. If you want to look up Gregory James versus Barrett Brown, those are some of my favorite matches of my entire career. I think we've had at least 10, 12 matches. But I cherish my past, but I'm really looking forward to the future.
That's good to hear. You want to talk about it?
Okay, so we did a recent interview with Sid on our Uwu little channel. We open up Pokemon cards and everything, and
I know what this is. I know what this is.
We actually opened up some with Izzy James as well too, but we want to hear about the Pokemon battle that was too hot for Izzy. So let's talk about it, man.
There's not much to talk about. I'm not good at Pokemon. I am just not. It was me and my nephew, who's 6 years old. We actually share a birthday, so Wednesday is my 34th birthday. Thank you for aging me. I'll out myself there.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And it's also my nephew, who is 6 years old. It's his birthday. We share a birthday. And so I was babysitting him over New Year's, and he wanted to play Pokemon. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And he's got the board game where it tells you all the rules and stuff, right? And so I'm trying to learn how to play the game, and I have my cards. He's got his cards, and he's trying to explain it to me, but he's 6 years old, so it's kind of not really all there. And I read it. I'm like, okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. And I go down the things of my options, and the only option I have is the last thing on the list. And he's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I'm just like, Well, that's the third thing you told me I can't do. I'm done. I just slammed those cards down and I was out.
You're like, look, I am done.
Yeah. That's the third thing you said I couldn't do in a row. But it's my only option. So, like, what am I supposed to do? It got figured out, but it was fun.
If it makes you feel any better, back in 2020, we first got back into Pokemon during the pandemic and all that because we had nothing else to do. And I battled my daughter, my 10-year-old daughter. At first, I was going easy on her, but then she started winning more. So I started, and she beat me after I was trying. I was like, okay, you know what? This game is rigged.
He's like, I'm done. You take him. Now we're 2 years into this, and we got a lot of cards.
Yeah, there's cards everywhere. Now that we're doing the woo,
we have boxes of cards.
I'm trying not to collect anymore. I'm trying to just collect the ones that I open up with the wrestlers, and I have them signed and all that.
Yeah,
but, there's cards.
That's pretty cool. Right.
I think we were driving to BOW Saturday. I opened up the glove compartment. There was 3 or 4 cards, and I was like, where the fuck are all these cards coming from?
That's awesome. Actually, to piggyback off of that with the collecting thing, you reminded me, I used to play Pogs when I was a kid in the 90s, and I recently thought about it the other day. I was like, I want to start collecting Pogs. I'm sure no one has them, and I'd be the only guy, and I'd have the Guinness Book of Record of Pog collection.
Our friends at JF Elite V, they're actually big fans of you. So I think Jose wanted me to say hi to you.
Yes.
But
you're talking about Pogs. They're like, since y'all are opening up Pokemon cards, we might as well start doing Pogs. And funny you're bringing this up. I was like, oh my god, they would love this so much.
Like, we should do a Pog battle.
Oh, of course.
See?
That would be awesome.
So, if you're listening, guys, you have one guest already with Izzy. Y'all do that.
We got Izzy for it. Make it happen. Oh, so we're down to our final question, and our final question is usually the heart-wrenching one that makes you think a little bit. So, what's the legacy you want to leave behind, inside or outside of the ring?
Inside the ring, I want to, if there's one thing I want to be known for, it's that I was one of the best to come from Texas. Bar none. I want to be in that list of, you have Stone Cold Steve Austin, you have The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. I want to be in that line of guys that are coming up. Gino, Ryan Davidson, Will Alday, myself, Brian Keith. I want to be in that talk that, Izzy James was one of the best to beat. Best in-ring performers to come from Texas. As far as outside of the ring, I've kind of always had this one thing in my mind of leave the business better than I found it. In 2020, we had the Speak Out movement. We had everybody, coming out as, exposing all these people that were doing terrible things, whether it be abusive or, sexual or what have you. And I feel like that was something that was desperately needed in our business to make it better for the women in this business, the young kids coming up in this business. Like, we have Billy Starks, we have Nick Wayne, we have, young kids. The 2 kids that opened up the BOW show Saturday night were 16 and 17 years old.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they looked that age, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was told that during the match. I was just like, I was watching and I was like, you're kidding me. Because they keep going. They'll be just like Barrett Brown. And by the time they're 24, 25 years old, killing it, in New Japan or AAA or, AEW, wherever they want to go. So leaving the business better than I found it, that's one of those things for me.
Yeah.
That's crazy because they actually had a really good match. I enjoyed that match.
Yeah.
And even they wrestled at the WrestleFest earlier in the day, and they had a very good match there too.
Yeah.
Man, those kids did everything in the book, and I walked away like, damn, the 4-way's got to follow that.
Yeah. Like, God damn it.
I'd hate to be the guy that followed that.
Oh, it was entertaining. Benny Bravo made it entertaining.
Oh yeah, I
Joe
love
Dempsey.
Benny Bravo every time.
Who else was in Roxo and
Who
was the 4th one?
Rayo.
Oh, Rayo, yes. I liked that there was different categories of wrestlers. Like you had the lucha guy, you had the guy who's witty with Bill Dempsey, you had the chicken shit heel with Benny, and then you had the big man, crazy Roxo out there. So I like that they had different dynamics for all the people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, thanks, man, for being on. We really appreciate it. If you want to plug, the show's going up Monday, so you already have Loco this past Friday, so y'all can check that out on Title Match Network. I think Title Match Network.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other show? The Reality of Wrestling. Y'all can check out.
Reality Wrestling, yeah.
Do you have any other shows coming up?
So we have Loco Wrestling on the 21st. That's going to be on Title Match, like you said. Reality of Wrestling, which you can catch on YouTube. It's syndicated on TV, so I know in Dallas it's like Channel 33 on the CW. I don't know what it is here in Houston, but you can find that on Google. Just somehow Google that. Other than that, for this month, I was supposed to be in Washington on the 29th. That ended up falling through. And then February, it's really right now. I know Reality of Wrestling for the majority of the month. At the end of February, I will be going to Versus Pro Wrestling, which is running with Prestige Wrestling out of Las Vegas on the February 25th, 26th, and 27th for those 3 days. March, I'm in talks with a company right now for March. That's going to be up in the Northeast region. Not sure on that just yet, though. And the rest of the year is primarily Reality of Wrestling.
Do you have any plans for WrestleMania week?
I'm talking with Loco Wrestling right now, GCWA Wrestling right now. There's a friend of mine who paints his face a lot and is talking about running a lucha and a heavy metal show that I may be a part of in both capacities. So we'll see about that. That whole weekend is going to be like, 4 days?
4 days.
Whole 4 days is going to be crazy packed with just tons and tons of people. So definitely getting more and more contacts for different shows out that way.
Absolutely. We're excited because we plan on going up there for that weekend just to see how it is. I mean, honestly, once GCW announced it and then all the little shows after that, I was like, man, WrestleMania, we're going to this. This is so much
The best part of WrestleMania weekend is not WrestleMania.
News that go around it. It's like the best thing.
Yeah, the last thing I'm doing at WrestleMania weekend is watching WrestleMania.
We haven't watched WrestleMania, WWE or AEW like in months. I think since CM Punk came back, that was probably the last show we watched. And yeah, unless with Dark, of course, because Dark has all the indie talent.
Like Chandler, it had JP Harlow, you on there. We watch it just for you guys because I mean, y'all guys are doing good stuff.
It's special, It's special, We're on the come up. It's not, the TV stars that have been on TV for 15 years and they're bringing them back again for their 15th, 16th return match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we make it work. It makes it worth it watching that Dark match, especially with you guys in it,
Oh yeah. That's what I love about watching NWA is getting to see Mecha Wolf and Bestia. Those two dudes. Yeah. I love those dudes. Mecha Wolf's a close friend of mine too. So
Mecha and Bestia, I forgot they were the GCWA tag team champions
for a while.
Yeah. I was talking to Mecha Wolf the other day, and I was like, "Hey, Dimitri, Action Jackson, and we're gonna come for those tag belts."
I would love to see that match.
Yes,
actually.
That would be a good one too.
Mecha Wolf is actually one of Action Jackson's trainers. So
what?
To add that on top of that, yeah, it was a nice little stab in the side there.
Oh man!
Stab in the neck.
Stab in the neck.
And then take the belts.
Also plug in your social medias. I know you got a TikTok as well, which is hilarious. We actually stumbled on it and it was funny.
Oh man, I actually need to read. I'm gonna change the content on there. I have been kind of like thinking about it and trying to want to do something different with it that isn't wrestling related but is music related, since I'm a huge punk rock heavy metal fan. So you might see it change. But my favorite clip is the Bestia clip that I filmed. That got me so many views and follows just in like that weekend. It was ridiculous. I do have a TikTok. I don't know what it is. Let me look. I think it's Izzy James _PW. Let's see. Yes. Izzy James _PW, same as my Twitter, same as my Instagram. I try to make it cohesive all the way around. Facebook / unholy GJ, or just type in Isaiah James. That's it. Oh, today I just launched a brand new store with hundreds and hundreds of products. It is the Izzy James merch store on Teespring. We'll have to put the link in there somewhere. But I have 2 brand new designs. Where is it? I was just on it. I got 2 brand new designs.
Ooh, I could see it from here, and they look solid.
Boom.
I'm excited because I only have one shirt of yours.
Full print.
I only have one shirt of yours, and Pro Wrestling Tees got hacked, and then my credit card got hacked with it.
So that is why I'm leaving. That is why I'm leaving Pro Wrestling Tees. Here's a brand new crop top hoodie for the ladies. Boom, you can get that in black and pale pink. I know pink is
the new color.
Is the seller. It's the seller, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. So you can go on Teespring. I think it's Izzy James merch, and you'll find me on there.
I'll plug it down below. Also, I'll plug his YouTube. So yeah, go click on that subscribe button. He has full matches on there, promos, also has Insidious matches, and I think promos as well. So click on that.
Yes, you can find all my promos, all my matches. Is YouTube just Isaiah James, and you'll find it on there.
Well, thanks again for being on, man. I really enjoyed it. I guess we'll catch y'all guys in the next one.
Yeah. Peace.
Hey, man, this was fun. Thank you so much.